Sound check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh. Sound check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Keep going.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
And this is my co-host over here. I'll let him introduce himself.
I'm Anthony. How you guys doing?
We are glad that you all came out tonight. First order of business, we were supposed to have that projector down and give all video of all of the vendors or the wellness exhibitors that are here. Unfortunately, we went over sound, we went over lighting, we went over audio, video, except for that. So that is not working, so we apologize on not being able to utilize that, but we'll make sure that we give the exhibitors their shout outs with the information that we have up here. The other part of this, we want to let you all know that what we're doing tonight has nothing to do with anything religious or political. This is just about creating awareness for mental health and sharing a safe space for us to talk about the things that a lot of us in our community and other communities struggle with, as well as just giving you an opportunity to feel safe and open to, hear the stories of people that have experienced some things, as well as being able to see some exhibitors here that help those people that struggle with mental health. So we got started with this. I'll actually let Anthony go ahead with his part first because I've been doing a whole lot of talking before we introduce our performers.
You talk good, so you're good. How we started Two Cool Dudes was I had an idea to start a men's mental health group because we wanted to focus on getting men back in the homes to help out mom and help with the kids around the home. We did hold a counseling event, but only one person showed. In the process of doing that, I'm thinking of your brother. Lawrence reached out to me and said, hey, how about we do something together? We talked about it for a while, and then we birthed Two Cool Dudes. We about 6 podcasts in now?
Yeah, 6 podcasts in.
We're about 6 podcasts in now, and our focus was to stop the stigma when it comes to mental health. Everybody has issues, everybody deals with things. We wanted to bring awareness to that and let people know it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to go through things and not be judged because of it. So that's how we birthed Two Cool Dudes, and that's what led us here today.
As Anthony was saying, so we talked, and then I reached out to Mr. Galk on some things, and then we met with community media, and Mark, our video guy back there, who does a terrific job, was part of the meeting, and we went down and met with him, and we kicked around the idea of Two Cool Dudes. And just so you know, we don't think like we're overly cool. We just try to just be like, it's just cool to be okay to talk about. What do I want to talk about? We are cool, man.
I'm about to say, you're cool, bro.
But we just want everyone to feel comfortable about talking about mental health. And him and I are very open with one another. I have called him in emotional states sometimes and talked to him, and he's just listened. And he has done the same. Just a case in point, we were supposed to be here for a sound and audio check, and he couldn't make it. I called him up on the phone, and I can hear that he was kind of frantic. I was like, don't worry about it, I got it. So we came in here, started doing some things, and we were here for 5 minutes, and then I walked out in the hallway, and then I called him on the phone. And I was like, he was like, what's going on? I was like, nothing, man, I just wanted to check up on you to make sure you were okay, because you sounded frantic, and I wanted to make sure my guy's all right. And he told me, I just sat there and listened, and he told me, L, blah, 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 and I was like, you're good, all right. So, and then he texted me later on, I was like, yo, man, I appreciate it. So that's who we are and what we're trying to provide to everyone tonight. We do have some stories that are deep, that we'll talk about suicide, that we'll talk about domestic abuse. We understand that those topics are things that are not easily talked about, and that is why you will see our performers from the Calwary Performance Group perform these vignettes of telling you these stories of our guests that we'll have on stage and ask them questions about, what they have seen and the experiences that they've had. So let me stop talking and let our performers do their thing. So the first 2 vignettes that you're going to hear are from Mr. Where is he at? Where's my guy at?
Where's Bart?
And we're looking for Mr. Bruce Bartz. Where's Bruce?
There
Bruce. So the first story is on Bruce Bartz and his son Trent. It doesn't help that we don't have the projector there because we're supposed to be able to show you these things and show you Bruce Bart's Brigade, but his first story is going to be about his son. Second story is going to be of a man, John Root, who will also have up here on the stage, and he has shared with us a story of some people from his group that struggle with some mental health things and talked about suicide. So those will be our first two stories, and we'll let our performers take it from here. So enjoy, everyone, and thank you all for coming out.
You're quiet. That's not like you.
Nah, I'm okay. Nothing much to say, I guess.
Okay, that's not true. You know it, and I know it. Look, Mike, I know these legal issues.
These legal issues didn't just happen out of nowhere, Tiff. They buried us.
Yeah, but we're still here. I mean, it's bad, but it's not like we're finished. Could be worse.
Worse? I wake up every day thinking how much longer of this I can take. The debts, the lawyers, the looks of people who used to respect us. I can't take it anymore. I feel like I'm drowning, and all I can think about is how I'm letting you down.
You are not letting me down.
Aren't I? You trusted me to handle things, and I failed. I failed you, the business, even myself. But then I got an idea. Maybe it would be better if I just checked out.
Checked out, what do you... No. No, don't you ever...
Everything. I thought if I just disappeared, everything would stop. I mean, it would have to, right? The guilt, the pressure, the disappointment.
No, you are my brother. I love you. Why didn't you talk to me? You think just because you're a guy that you're not allowed to feel the way you do? I can't do this by myself. We have to stay in this together.
I know, Tiff. I'm so sorry. I'm trying so hard.
You said you were ready. Were. What changed?
A group, men's online group. Local guys sharing their own pain. I didn't think much of it, but then I looked into it, and I went to a meeting. And Tiff, it was so real. No judgment, no everything will be fine, fake smiles, just a circle of men being honest about their pain.
A men's group.
Yeah, they taught me that I'm not the only one who feels like this, that I'm not weak. And it gave me hope, a purpose.
That's the Michael I know.
I've been with them for a little while, and I'm even training to be a leader, to help others who felt the way I did.
I'm glad you have them.
I'm not fixed. I still have those days, but I'm fighting for us, for the stuff we built, everything for me.
That's the best you can do. But we have to do it together.
Yeah, together.
Well, that it should have been, that was the second story from John's and in the men's group. As they're getting ready for the next story, I think some of you may get a feel for how this is going to play out. It is a very short vignette, very short story of what John will share with us when he comes up here on stage. Anthony, you can introduce Bruce Bart's son.
Bruce Bartz was the guy that we spoke with when we first started our podcast. And he had a story that really resonated with us. Actually, almost brought me and Al to tears when we heard it. Since then, we've been in contact with Bruce. He's a very cool individual. He has a lot of things that he does within the community since the situation has occurred. I don't want to go into too much detail because I want you guys to see it, but definitely check on him when you guys leave out because he has a lot of resources, and make sure you're looking at the other exhibitors as well. But here's Bruce's story.
August 19, 2015. I play that day over and over in my mind like a film I can't shut off. Started like so many others. Robbie and I, we didn't see eye to eye on so many things. Robbie's choices, his life, things that had been boiling for a while. That day, they boiled over. We argued, but this time it wasn't just words. It was physical. Brief, but enough to cut me deeper than any words ever could. I had to leave. I had to go pick up my niece from school. Honestly, I was relieved to get out of the house. We needed space, time to cool off. I thought the time apart would fix things. But when I got back to the house, it felt different, heavy. And there was this smell. Reminded me of a fired gun. And my niece, she was so scared. I could see it in her little face. I just ran through the house, room to room, calling out his name, Robbie! Robbie! But he was nowhere. And my niece. So I ran her next door to the neighbors, told them to call 911. And I ran back inside. And that's when I found him lying there in the hallway, lifeless. I dropped everything and just let out this loud, raw yell. Wasn't even a human sound. I ran to him and I tried. I tried so hard. I started CPR. I was pressing and crying and begging. It was too late. He was gone. My baby boy. My Robbie. He was gone. We were supposed to have more time. More conversations, more chances to make things right. But August 19, 2015, day shattered my world. If I could just go back, if I could just hold him one more time, I would tell him that I love him, that no argument, no disagreement, no choice he made could ever change that. But I can't. All I have is that day. That awful, unbearable day.
Please,
Flip your chair.
come on. That was powerful. And I don't want to divulge too much into it, and because I want these guys to share their stories and talk about those things. But that was powerful. You can sit right there.
Hey, bud. Indeed.
One thing that we do, like, want to stress to everyone too, like as we go through this, we have established relationships with all the people that we will interview and that we talk to. And when I say that we establish relationships, that I don't think you can tell. I don't think you would think that those were fake hugs that we just had, because we have spent time with talking to Bruce, and the first time that we met him was out in front of the Adams County Courthouse. We were part of the suicide walk, and we marched around Gettysburg a couple of 2 years ago when we first got involved with doing this kind of stuff. And believe it or not, I had known Bruce for a while from coaching basketball, and then him being a ref. I didn't like him, but he's good people now. And then Anthony met John, and introduced me to John, and Anthony and John had several relationships. Conversations.
He showed me good coffee. Really good coffee.
And we've talked to John at least 2 or 3 different times.
Indeed.
And I've had very good conversations. So these things with these folks, these are real relationships and real personable things. This is not like fake. This is not like, hey man, who are you? Like I can call Bruce on the phone. I can call John.
Indeed.
So I'm going to jump right to Bruce first with the first couple of questions here. Just because we know Bruce very well. Tell me your thoughts about that vignette.
So
Yeah, they got you.
I usually come with a warning label. It's when I talk, you're gonna have a lump in your throat, tears in your eyes. She used to come with a warning label. She nailed that. That was the last day with my son. An overachiever kid who just loved life, but didn't share, just wouldn't share. He worried about everybody else and never worried about himself. And we physically fought that day. And when I picked my grandson up from school, he came home and found him in a laundry room. And he used my gun to shoot himself. So I could go on and on and on and talk to you about how he was. But I made up my mind. I don't ever want my worst enemy to feel how I feel. And I don't ever want to see anybody not be afraid or anybody be afraid to share their feelings. Because you know what? No matter what's going on in this world, life is worth the fight. And life is worth it. So.
So Bruce does a lot of work with Bart's Brigade. And the first time or the second time we encountered one another, he gave us a coin with his logo on it. And your coin, just so you know, sits in my office, and it sits right next to.
Mine is on my dresser.
My girlfriend gave me a little bookcase with my initials written on it, and I have it sitting right next to where she has like this little locket bookcase. So I'm reminded of you every time I sit down. So just so you know, man.
So, how many military people are here? You know what the challenge coin is, right? Who are? All right. We've taken the idea, look it up. We've taken the idea of the challenge coin, and I just gave a young man who's going to go in the Army here a little bit. My son earned a lot of challenge coins while he was in the military. But I took the idea of the challenge coin, and I made it a challenge that you got to take care of your mental health above all. It's as simple as that. And when you guys talked about it earlier, you said the words mental health, and everybody goes, oh, mental health, oh, jeez. All right, well, let's use the words anxiety and depression, because that's mental health too, you know?
Yeah, we got that coming up later.
Yeah, all right, so, but anyway, yeah, so that's what the challenge coins is, and like I said, if you talk to that young man, you tell him what I told you, and so I appreciate you carrying those coins.
Yep. We'll come back to you, John. John, so what did you think about the story? I think we have another microphone floating around here too for the audience to ask some questions.
Yeah.
What did you think about the vignette? Did you understand? Did you get what was going on there?
Oh, I couldn't have done that any better. Those two wonderful ladies did such a good job of expressing that and getting the message across. And I think that's a beautiful medium to do it, because sometimes hearing a story is one thing, but seeing somebody act it out with that passion to deliver the message of, what I took away from it, watching that, was how a lot of us sit in shame. And sometimes it's not our own shame that we sit with, but it puts us in a dark place because I could have done better. I should have done this. I should have done that. The big S word to me, that's the bigger S word than the cuss word, is I should have. And, for people who, and I've lost too many people to count to suicide, that, the shouldas are still there. I could have done this. I could have done that. And so by me showing up with the Hanover's men's group and the men's circle and being part of the Mankind Project, just like you said, Bruce, if I can touch one man, if I can change one trajectory, that man's going to think something different and see value in himself, then I've lived my mission.
And speaking on the men's group, we do know you have a men's group in Hanover. That's every Tuesday, correct?
Every other Tuesday.
Every other Tuesday
Yes.
at 7 p.m.?
7 p.m., 7 to
Okay.
9:30.
And you also do a men's retreat.
Yeah, so the men's retreat's called the New Warrior Training Adventure. And there's one coming up in March, and there's one in June. And basically what that is, it's 48 hours to basically learn what it is to be a man and relearn and get in touch with your feelings, get in touch with what accountability is, get in touch with how do you want to show up in your life. You come to that door on Friday and it's a whole new ball game. And we actually asked men, are you willing to do what it takes to get what you came for this weekend? And I've staffed 11 of these weekends, and I've gone through myself and changed my life, and I've seen the change in the lives of men that walk through that door and leave on Saturday.
So you said it's called the Warriors, and you use Warriors as well. Is there significance behind the Warriors? And I
Yeah.
mean, we are in warrior country here at Gettysburg, so.
Thought about that.
Yeah, but is there a significance behind that for either one of you, or just?
Well, I think the new Warrior Training Adventure is basically a new way of men becoming men. And it's an initiation weekend, but it's a healthy initiation. Not the initiations where, we think of people getting injured or scarred or demeaned or degraded. This is a way that we build men up so we can they can come out into the world.
Right. Do we have any questions out there in the audience for John or for Bruce? As Bruce is getting ready to answer this question about Warriors, please feel free to ask questions. I believe Mrs. Weigel from the Hope Squad is over here on the left-hand side. So if there's anyone that has questions at any time, please feel free just to raise your hand, and you'll be able to ask questions. Please do not be afraid. This is, a safe space. And I used to be a teacher, and I always told my students there's no stupid questions. So you can't go wrong with asking a question. Go ahead.
So when we talk about Warrior, I was a cop for 27 years. Did investigations for the Public Defender's Office for a lot of years, and then after Trent died, I got into the mental health business. And we talk about Warrior. You were tough. I was a tough cop, man. I never showed my emotions. Every day, I start my day out in the shower, crying for the loss of my son. And as you can see now, I'm not afraid to cry in front of any one of you people. Now I'm tough. Before I wasn't tough. I thought I was. I share. I talk about my feelings. I talk about my emotions. I talk about all those things. And I guess the tough part was waiting. I had to lose my son for me to realize that as a man, that it's the tough people that share. That makes you tough.
Good point there. Any questions before we get ready to transition on to the next vignette here? We have a question over here.
Every other Tuesday at 7, Holy Holistics. So it's Holy Holistics every other Tuesday, so the next meeting will be this upcoming Tuesday at 7 o'clock.
Could you give it your social?
Sure. Well, right now, just my email.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Could you give it
So,
as well?
so the email is jgrotejr.mkp@gmail.
And you'll be able to catch some of the exhibitors on your way out and be able to talk to individuals as we transition out of here later on this evening as well, if there's some information that you need. So as both of these gentlemen get ready to exit the stage, I just want to say we talked about men first. As we get ready to go into our next two vignettes, this will be geared towards women. And the thing behind the whole aspect of men, I want to say men first, definitely not the case by any means, but Anthony and I are two men who have openly struggled with mental health. And we have found solace in confiding in each other.
Indeed.
I have a brother. I have family members that are male, but it is different when you are talking to someone who doesn't particularly know you. I know in my family calls me man. That is my nickname, so I have embroidered that on my chest and my shoulders. And I like to think that I have very broad shoulders, and I like to think that I'm a tough guy, but I am soft with a capital S. Like I am. Like my heart is gigantic, and I am soft. So, for men to stand up here and to talk about, crying, Bruce talking about crying, and John talking about men coming together and like not breaking you down physically, but breaking you down how to be a better individual. It'll be a better place if we all, were able to find that space to like be okay to not be okay. So. As we transition here, our next two vignettes have to do with domestic abuse within a home of a married woman, and then having to talk about anxiety and depression. So again, we'll welcome Mr. Weary's performance group.
Last night, my husband raped me. I was at home making dinner, paella, his favorite. Figured after a long day it'd be something nice, He came in through the door, told me he had a bad day. Said he needed some loving. And I'm taken aback, I looking at him. Hey, I understand. We've got 3 kids. They're sitting right there. I understand. But he didn't listen to me. He started pulling at me. He called me a cold fish. Cold fish. Said he deserved me. Said that I owe him. I am a right to him. And before I knew it, I was pinned to the ground. He was clawing at my clothing. Our feet were strapped. The children were in the other room. And all I wanted him to do was stop. But he wouldn't. And I pushed him away. I tried, and he got angry. So angry. This isn't the first time. It's not the second time either. And every single time I ask myself, is it me? Am I the problem? Am I not satisfying him? Am I not holding myself to my vows? In these moments, I don't feel like a wife. I feel more like a trash can. A place where you can throw your garbage when you are done with it. Dump your anger, your bad day, whatever you want to get off your chest, and I'm supposed to stand there open and take it. I used to believe in forever, in true love, in longevity. But now, I feel like a trash can, except for the trash he leaves behind. Fuck that.
Can everybody see this?
You just need to think this through, Kai. Lay out the pros and cons. Make a list. The answer is there if you just approach it rationally.
No! Don't think, feel! You already know what you want. Why are you even hesitating?
What if you make the wrong choice? What if it all goes wrong and you can't fix it? This could ruin everything.
Oh, no, but what if it's amazing? What if this is exactly what you've been waiting for? You can do it, Kai. Trust yourself.
No, stop!
Of course you know. Look at the facts. Ignore the noise.
Ignore me? How dare you, Kai? You know this is the right thing. You feel it in your gut.
Or maybe that's your gut telling you it's a mistake. What if everyone judges you? What if you fail?
What if you don't fail? What if this is the start of something beautiful? You'll never know, Kai. You gotta try.
Stick to the facts. Be rational.
Go with
Think
your
it through.
heart. You
Don't
already
do it.
know
It's too
the
risky.
answer.
You'll
Take
regret
the
it
leap,
forever.
Kai.
I
Take
don't
the
know.
leap.
We know
You
what
will
I don't know
be
who
it.
to
You will be
listen to.
proud of yourself.
I don't know what to do.
Kai, you can't let this paralyze you.
You are stronger than this.
But what if you're not?
You are. You are strong enough, Kai.
I don't know what to do. I don't know who to listen to.
Listen to me.
No, you listen to me. Depression feels like every time I'm sad, it's the saddest I've ever been. I can't win. Every time I wake, I just can't shake this mental state that I'm in. To the person in the sky, I wonder why you had to die on me. My deepest thoughts is why you had to die on me. My loved ones know they can come and confide in me, but then honestly, knowing their problems just only adds to my everlasting anxiety. Oh, no, no, no. They didn't see what I see. At first, I didn't understand. Besides, she helped mold me into the man that I am. She's my best friend. At most times, it's just her and I. Thoughts flow before I begin to cry, and all she does is stare at me and wonder why. Each fear was dropped with each tear, but when she talks, she preached clear. I'm so glad that she's here. We wasn't always cool. She only used to see me there after being a fool, especially when I came home right after school. We would have deep conversations about life and death. I told her, I feel in hell every time I take a breath. My heart aches, and without a doubt, she's the cause. She was that reflection that exposed all of my flaws. The back of my hand catching each teardrop that falls. But it was all mental abuse, because she knows I have no one else truly to call. She hated that I used to take a pill to chill. She thought I did it out of spite. The idea that I really left her. Now, she inspires me to write. There was smoke in the air. That was to clear my mood. She didn't care, because for real, she was trying to get high too. But through all the tension, I learned this lesson. Even though she was more than a curse and a blessing, what will I ever do without her? My depression.
That was powerful. As an individual, as Lauren said, when we began this mental health journey, we didn't have any medical background or anything of that nature. We began this mental health journey because we both deal with mental health issues. Seeing that vignette that I just saw with him kind of registered with me as an individual who's dealt with depression and have dealt with those kind of emotions and wanting to do something, and you have all these different kind of thoughts going through your head, and you don't know which one to listen to, and you thinking nobody is gonna hear you, or you have no help, or what do I do, or how do I go about it? And seeing that put me in a room that I was in at one time, and I felt that within my spirit. And what I want to give to the people in seeing that is what helped me get out of that is I had to recognize that I was worth it. That was the biggest thing that I had to recognize within self. I had to recognize that I was worth it. And no matter what my issue was, what my problem was, what may arise the next day, I'm still worth it regardless. If I'm not feeling good or something didn't go my way, I'm still worth it. If I didn't get that position within that job, I'm still worth it. If I didn't get put in the position that I thought I was supposed to be in by the age of this, I'm still worth it. And that's what helped me to get out of that and get where I am today and be able to speak with you guys about it. I'm sorry, I just had to speak on that because that really touched me, man. So I didn't mean to get off track, but that really touched me.
No, you're speaking what you're supposed to speak about, those emotions behind that. I thought that was very powerful as well. We're going to have three guests come up on the stage to speak regarding the two vignettes that you just watched. Atlee, Walter, where are you at, Atlee? If Atlee can come on up, come on down, and Michelle and Lauren from True North, please come on up, please. Do we have another microphone that we can use since we have three of them up here? And I think we can hear the audience pretty well if they ask questions or shout them out. We just need that. Can we get the other microphone, Jen?
Here, appreciate you.
Hey. You can sit right over here.
Thanks.
You ready? Appreciate it. I know, right?
Let's come back on now. All right.
Frying on you.
There you go. All right. We'll start off with you, Atlee, because I spoke with you regarding that first vignette. So just let
That's Atlee that we.
Yeah.
Oh, how you doing? I'm so sorry. Oh, God. Go ahead. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again, too. Nice to see you again, too.
So I'll back up real quick. I'll digress real quick. So when we interviewed Allie, and we actually had a very good interview with Michelle. These two we interviewed,
Yes.
last spring, and
These
we
were our
had
two favorites.
Yeah, two favorites by far, because the energy
were our
was
two
great.
favorites,
And
yes.
so, like, again, we told you, we have like these relationships with the people. We built this rapport. It's not fake, right? It's not.
No,
it's
not at all. Not
fake.
at all.
So, Allie, let people know where you work. And Allie is the one who shared this story, the first vignette with us of the wife being raped by her husband.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Atlee Walter. I'm the director of Adams County Empowerment Center, which is the area's sexual violence and sexual assault response.
And Atlee works closely at times with the YWCA Safe Homes, correct?
Yes, we do. So we
And-
partner with a lot of the agencies in town, too.
And Miss Shonda White is here back there. She's giving a wave. See,
Yep.
we know these people.
Yeah.
We know these people. So these two work closely together, YWCA Safe Homes and Empowerment Group. So here's my next question for you, so you can go ahead and answer that. So when you talk about domestic abuse and the story that you shared, you did share another one with us regarding it was a male individual. Do you see these kind of things quite often in your line of work?
Yeah, so we see the full spectrum of incidents happen. So anything from child sexual assault to elder sexual assault, we see the full spectrum. Doesn't matter if it's male, woman, any sort of thing. Like, it happens to a lot of people, and I think it's a really unreported event that happens to a lot of people as well.
So one of the things that I had read and just researching about, everyone that comes here is that men don't report it because they are ashamed of it happening to them. And then when it happens with children, they don't report it because they're ashamed. And then when the parents do find out about some of these things, they too are also ashamed about some of these things that do occur. So people go without getting this help. And then this is where True North comes in, and the other mental health groups come in, where you deal with this trauma and it's not addressed. Like, where do you go when it's actually time to address those traumas that you have dealt with? So I digress or transition over here to True North. What is it that the services that you all offer?
Well, we offer services for adults, children.
Let me get that one back. Try to get that one turned on.
Okay, this is working.
There you go.
We offer an array of services in a lot of different counties. We have services for adults, we have services for children, and we have services for families. So in a situation like that, an individual family member could refer a child, and the whole family could be involved in therapy, a variety of ways. Like, we have family-based therapy where the child is the designee, but we're working with the entire family. The same way with IBHS, and I apologize for the acronyms, but basically it's just family therapy with the child being, like I said, the focus of the therapy, but they're really going out to families' homes and working with the family in their home in that environment.
Now, the question I do have, and I'm quite sure a couple people might want to know this, insurance. Now, when you're dealing with these kind of counseling, therapy, things of that nature, what kind of insurance do you guys accept? Do you need insurance to do these things? Because Lawrence and I have interviewed individuals who have stated that they've tried to get counseling, they've tried to get therapy, but those places do not take their insurance. Or if they don't have insurance, they cannot get the help that they need. And as Lawrence and I talked about, that's a big issue for those who are dealing with mental health issues and things like that, because just because I don't have insurance doesn't mean I don't need help or should be able to get that help available to me. So is that something you guys offer if you don't have insurance, or what insurance do you guys take?
As far as what insurances we take, that's not my expertise.
Okay.
But I can tell you this. We operate on a sliding scale.
Gotcha.
So in other words, what happens is if somebody wants outpatient therapy, they meet with someone, usually a county representative, and then they come up with a sliding scale on what they can afford and what they can't afford. We have many people that are getting services and aren't paying for those. So.
Awesome.
And our services are free of charge. They're available 24/7. We are grant funded by the state, so anybody can come through our doors at any time and receive any services for them.
So True North is just one of the resources in our community and neighboring communities that offer mental health services for individuals from youth to adulthood. Here momentarily we'll share some of the information that we have up here, such as Adams County Children's Advocacy Center. They are here, so there are a lot of services that are companies that are here that provide all kinds of services within the community. Going back to Ms. Shonda White and the Safe Home, so what is it that Ms. White and you do together when it comes to an individual who may have experienced something regarding domestic abuse?
Yeah, so the situation that was outlined was a really great example of where our two agencies can work together, right? And so she has experienced both things. She's experienced domestic assault as well as the same time as experiencing sexual violence. So really we would try to offer the most holistic approach possible to that individual, try to get her set up with whether she needs to, move out of that home, find an additional living situation, get her some mental health services, somebody to talk to, really get her peer support so that way she can have multiple people to talk to that have been through that sort of situation, and really try to set up her next chapter whenever she's ready to set up that sort of next chapter for her.
Cool. So are there any questions for these two groups before we allow them to exit the stage? And I'm saying aloud like I own you, but before they leave the stage, before we bring up our next people that we would like to interview, any questions? You can get both of them on their way out. On your way out, if you want more information, Atlee is posted up over here on the far back right side, and True North is right straight ahead as you are exiting out. Oh, right here. I'm sorry.
For outpatient therapy, it depends on what you're looking for. So for outpatient therapy, there's not a wait list per se, but a lot of times it depends on what time you want, if you want a male or female, so there's all these little nuances with it. As far as crisis intervention, in Hanover, we used to do that service. Now WellSpan does that service. In the Chambersburg area, we still do that. So that's an immediate thing.
Good question. If we could have Jen, Ms. Weigel from the Hope Squad, and one or two of the Hope Squad members join us up here on stage as these folks exit. We appreciate you. See, that wasn't that bad.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good. You want more questions? Oh my God, look over that. All right, so we have the Hope Squad. We'll start over here. We'll go here. Okay, if you could introduce yourself, if you don't mind, please.
Hi, okay. Hi everyone, I'm Olivia. I'm a senior here, and I've been a part of Hope Squad kind of since we started it. I kind of helped found our chapter here, so we've had Hope Squad for 2 years in the high school.
I'm Nadia. I am a sophomore, and I've been a part of Hope Squad probably since, I think it was last year, because we really just started getting it all. We just kind of started like rolling the boulder, and now in the year of our 2024-2025 school year, it's really just been a lot smoother, if you could say. We've just really gotten everything like rolling and really just like set.
So Jen, what is the Hope Squad? So for people out there that don't know and the people that are watching, what is the Hope Squad?
Hope Squad is a evidence-based peer-to-peer program for suicide prevention and education.
Okay, and how did you two get involved with Hope Squad?
So I was a part of Warrior Ambassadors, which is another program here, kind of welcoming new students in, and I was a part of Friends of Rachel in the middle school, which is kind of similar to Hope Squad, but less so on suicide prevention and more so on just like welcoming everyone. And I had struggled with my own mental health before, and I knew a lot of peers that were struggling with mental health. So I really wanted to help bring something to the high school. So I had reached out to Miss Weigel and a few other people and peers that I knew. And so we kind of started talking with Miss Weigel, and she had an intern who kind of helped us like figure out what kind of programs we could do. And so they kind of helped start getting Hope Squad running, and then I was one of the first members. Like Nadia said, last year we didn't have very many, and we've like grown our membership a lot this year. So we were kind of the starting members, just trying to get involved, and like I think we all in Hope Squad have a passion for mental health and really care about it, and just care about others, and so that's really what fueled me, is just my care for other people.
I just want to say, in order to be a part of Hope Squad, these students needed to be nominated by their peers. In March, we usually show a video explaining to the high school students what Hope Squad is, and then they are asked to nominate students that they feel are friendly, trustworthy, and someone that they would be willing to talk to.
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So I'm pretty sure, I think when we first all got the email about Hope Squad really starting to open up and get it more known across our student body in our school, I kind of like Olivia said, we honestly, I know I got the email and I was super interested in it, and because I know that I've struggled with mental health issues before, and I know that there's a lot of people, especially in our student body, that have also as well and don't talk about it because for some reason mental health is like a topic that everyone is like afraid of and everyone shies away from, but I feel like we're just kind of here to just like stop that and make mental health something that is okay to be talked about and something that really should be talked about, because you can't really fight it alone. You always need a support group.
Okay.
Awesome.
Go ahead. I got a question, and this is for you guys. As youth, as you just stated, you don't hear a lot of youth speaking on mental health issues, okay? I have teenage daughters and sons. What would you say to my teenage daughter and sons who are dealing with mental health issues, or something may arise and they don't know how to speak about it, talk about it? What would you say to them to be able to open up and not feel bad about it?
I think what I would say is turn to some either trusted friends or trusted adults and just make sure you have that really strong support system, because once you have that support system around you, it's a lot easier to honestly just like unfold all of your problems, and the more people you have, the more help you can get. And especially like someone like Hope Squad, like if they were to have something similar, even like locally, not even in their school, but anything locally that is like confidential, or even just like a quick like text, like I know 988 and I know so many other hotlines that you can just text with like a button and you don't need to actually face-to-face talk to somebody, because I know that can be hard.
Awesome. So here's my other question. Has Hope Squad like expanded to other schools, or is this just something that Gettysburg is doing?
Go ahead.
For starters, I just wanted to go off of the last question, kind of piggybacking after Nad. Definitely finding your support group is really important, and also like I think there's a big emphasis on like, I feel like when you see people talking about their mental health, you're like, oh, why am I not comfortable talking about my mental health? And it's definitely not something that's just going to happen overnight. You're not just going to be like, I'm struggling with mental health, now I'm okay talking about it. I've struggled with mental health for years, and I definitely was not comfortable talking about it at the start. I think it's really about, like Nat said, building that community, and once you find those people where it's like, okay, they're opening up about mental health, and I'm friends with someone opening up about mental health, now you feel more supported. And then talking about Hope Squad. So Hope Squad is a national organization. I believe it was started in Utah, correct me if I'm wrong. And basically, it was started in Utah, and then it's spread throughout the United States, and different schools, different chapters. I believe we're the only one in Adams County, but I could be wrong. And basically, you get a part of the organization, the national organization, and then our advisors, Ms. Weigel is one of them. We have 3 others. And then all of the Hope Squad members, we get trained in something called QPR, which is question, predict, refer. And so the Hope Squad members were trained to kind of know about the warning signs and other signs that we can see in our peers, so we can help our peers if we see something, or our peers know who we are so they can come to us, and it's kind of like we're a mediator between the student and like advisors and counselors.
So they just mentioned QPR training, and Anthony and I actually went through that training last year. And what was it, like 3 hours long?
3 hours.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours long, and we did it through Wellspan. I believe they have those QPR trainings like every 6 months. Yep. They have them all over the place. The Wellspan, at CareerLink. It is very good because it helps you recognize someone who may be going through suicidal thoughts, someone who is maybe like creating a plan. It helps you identify those identifiables that put you in a position to be like, hey, maybe we should like sit down and talk about these things. Am I on the right track here? So for these young ladies and for them to go through that, it speaks volumes for them because it's really like in depth. Like, do you have something written down? Do you have a plan? Like, you have to ask someone these questions. And for teenagers to be able to go through that training and to say like, hey, you got a plan? Like and really have that conversation is serious, and they both said that they take this seriously. So I personally commend you very much. So we can give them a round of applause for that. And you two spoke very well.
Indeed.
You spoke very well.
Indeed.
That is awesome. That is very awesome.
And we appreciate what you guys are doing. It takes a lot. One of the biggest things when we combat mental health is our youth. Because our youth are the main ones with social media and everything that's going on. Trying to combat mental health within our youth is prominent. So to have youth involved, especially within the school setting, is amazing. So thank you guys.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, very much. You were going to say something?
Yeah. Sorry.
No,
I just feel like, especially like with our youth and our teenagers, like the way social media has such a big impact on us, and the way that it honestly feels like you're just tied to that feeling that you're not good enough, you're worthless. And I feel like, again, like I said earlier, having that support system where you can just put like the screen away and take all of those and just see life from your perspective and not the media's perspective. And you just see that with your support system.
You just spoke a word. Say it again. See life, say what you just said, that line where you say see life from yours.
See life through your perspective and not the media's perspective.
Absolutely. Well, we met the Hope Squad back at the farmers market, and we definitely so this all came to fruition with Catherine Gaskins, who will be up here momentarily, so we can interview her. But this all started with us being at the farmers market, and we walked by the Hope Squad, and we were like, "Hey, what is this?" And then
we have the
donkey.
The
donkey. Yeah, the donkey.
Yeah,
because we were calling it a pony.
The pony.
One of our advisors' kids.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's how we got involved with the Hope Squad, and then Catherine Gaskins, who will be up here, like I said, momentarily, and then the Healthy Adams County, and then the Mental Health Task Force. I think I'm saying that wrong. What is it, the task force?
Behavioral task force.
The Behavioral Task Force, which all of these individuals who are here, the wellness exhibitors that are here, are part of this task force, and they meet once a month, and they talk about the suicide deaths in Adams County and neighboring counties. They talk about mental health issues that may be going on and how they can be involved. And this is how this program tonight came about, because we were all like, hey, if we did this outside in the cold, because it was cold that day, it was cold, why not bring it inside so we could be a little warm and a little inviting and comfortable and sit and nice, comfortable chairs, you know. So, Hope Squad, we thank you. Ms. Weigel, we thank you. As you transition off, Ms. Gaskins, if you want to make your way up here, if we can give these folks a round of applause. I'm not sure if you have seen the promo videos that we were doing. Ms. Gaskins came in, and I realized that I spelled your name wrong. Oh my gosh, I should be ashamed of myself, so I apologize.
It's the last time I'm working with you.
I know, right?
She is a woman of many hats.
Many hats, many hats. If you've seen that in the video, I definitely put that there, woman of many hats. We'll let you speak, but Ms. Gaskins, we met her on a suicide walk around Warrior Stadium. So just so everybody knows, like this is not like, hey, we're just here. No, we have been out and involved in the community and have been involved in some of these things, and that's how we have met and networked with a lot of these folks that are putting on this great show tonight. But Ms. Gaskins, I'll let you go ahead and talk away.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This is a great turnout. We weren't quite sure with the weather what it would be like, but I had the pleasure of meeting the two cool dudes earlier this year and last year at some of the suicide prevention events, and we were able to have them at our mental health awareness day at the market, and that was a wonderful event, and I think we are going to be doing it again this year. So sometime in May, one of the second or third weekend in May. We haven't decided on the date yet, but it's a wonderful opportunity to have the people coming to the market be interviewed, talk about the issue, because we really want to get the message out in the community that it is okay to talk about mental health and mental wellness and how we can all help each other feel better. Because there's so many things going on in the world that are impacting us, and sometimes you don't even realize it. But we talk about it at Healthy Adams County. We have a physical fitness task force that encourages people to get outdoors and walk. If you can't run or do strenuous exercise, at least get outside and walk, because it helps you physically and it helps you with your mental wellness and feeling better. I try to do it every day, and it does help. Personally, I also have a brother who has suffered from a mental illness his whole life, and I see the impact on our family, and that has also been an impetus for me to really make sure that the topic is out there in our community. So we have a behavioral health task force, as Lawrence mentioned. We meet once a month, and we're always willing to bring new people on, even if you're just a community member and want to be involved, to plan some of the activities that we do during the year. You're welcome to join us. We meet the second Tuesday of the month via Zoom, because we do have a lot of partners that come from out of the county, like the VA, Lebanon VA. They have a suicide prevention program, and some other folks like York Adams MHIDD gives people that chance to come and join us. And it is a growing group. We have a lot of providers that have joined this year. And so if we all work together, we can hopefully make a bigger impact in the community.
Thank you. So, Ms. Gaskins, you are humbling yourself here in what it is that you do.
She always does.
I know. So, what has you being involved in Healthy Adams County and the task force and the other things that try to bring people together and create awareness? What has you wanting to be involved in those things?
Well, I started my career out of college working in a domestic violence agency, so I really the scenes earlier really meant a lot to me, because that was part of what I did for almost 13 years. And then I was actually the chair of the Domestic Violence Task Force under Healthy Adams County, and I had the opportunity to apply for the position of the director. And the part that I love about my job is there's always something new every day. We have different things that we focus on, from running food programs to the behavioral health to physical fitness, all of those really hoping to build up the community, improve our quality of life in Adams County. And I I enjoy coming to work. I enjoy working in the community with all of the organizations that we are able to work with. You see some of them here tonight. And there's so many others that are focused on other areas in the community. But I love being able to focus on Adams County specifically, and my job as part of WellSpan, because Healthy Adams County is a 501c3, but we're also part of the health system, which is nice as well because we have a lot of resources that we gain from the health system. But as we've seen all of the counties working together on some of these issues, we've been able to make an even bigger impact. But I'm always have my place in my heart for Adams County because we don't have as many resources as some other counties, so we really have to partner together and do that work together to make that impact. And I think almost all the organizations I've worked with have that big heart and are willing to work together to make that happen.
Well, we definitely appreciate
Indeed.
you. We
Thank you
definitely
so
appreciate
much.
the hand for Ms. Gaskins. Thank you. Before we get ready to close out, we'd like to bring some of the performers out so we can interview you about your actions. Thank you, Ms. Gaskins. Thank you. Give him a hand. Come on over. 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 Terrific job. Thank you. Awesome.
Good job.
Awesome.
Good job.
Come on over. Come on over.
We want to bring her in. She has been the light of everything when it came to our meetings, our gatherings. As soon as she walks in,
Brought in
she
new
is
energy.
New energy. She's always smiling. She's always live. So we love her and we appreciate her so much. So thank you. We appreciate
Get a seat,
it.
because we're
Thank
going to ask
you.
you some questions. Get a seat. Get a seat. Yeah, get a seat.
Yeah, you sit right here.
Yeah, here you go. Here's a microphone.
I'm gonna sit with my friend.
You can sit on the arm of the chair. It's all right.
Okay.
I'm the mayor here right now.
No? Okay, that's it.
Brother, sit
We
down.
don't need those.
No, your turn. Your turn. I'm going to go over this way.
All right, so I first want to say thank you all for your wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job. That was awesome. So when so I wrote up all these emails from after Anthony and I did these interviews and sent them out to Kyle, and then he shared those all with you. So this is what I would like to know because I've been waiting to see this. I will say that I almost cried twice, so that's good. How is it taking paper, those words, or those stories, and then like having to read that, and then transpiring that into a performance?
You know, it is very interesting that you asked this question. So we had a call last night, and I'm very loud. I'm so sorry for sound guy. We had a call last night just to kind of check in with everybody, and we were talking to each other, and like I think I had just done my piece for everybody, and I think that was the first time we really heard from each other. At that time, we all had done our own work separately, and that was the first time they heard somebody else's piece. And like the first thing I was like, yo, I have to take myself out of this a little bit, because I was thinking about some situations that I myself may have been in, and I reflected like, whoa, wait a minute, did I experience something close to this? And like the more I was reading into the lines, the more I was thinking about like, this is somebody's actual story. It took me kind of a little bit to really get in. And I'll tell you, when we are reading and looking at these things, it's not something that you can just on the fly just check out and look and just be like, yep, this is cool. You really need to take space, sit with yourself, like no TV, no screen, and really be with what it is, because this isn't a regular monologue. It's not a regular scene. This is somebody's actual real life story. And maybe I also experienced something similar. And so it was kind of rough for me at first. But that was just me. Anyone else have any insight?
No, I would say she put it quite well, yeah.
Well, for me, I didn't have a story per se, like on stage, so he told me like to do one of my own poetries, so that's what I did. I have a poem called Depression, where I basically talk about a female, but like I'm talking about the reason why I'm depressed, you know what I'm saying? Like, the reason why I left her, the reason why I write, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of analogies in which that's the reason why I write from depression. But, like, that's just me, though.
Now, was that story something that was personal for
Yeah.
you when writing it, or was something that actually occurred?
Yeah, it was actually something, it was my whole life. Like, I'm sorry, I'm blinking out right now. But I say when I was younger, wasn't always cool. She only used to see me there after being a fool, especially when I came home right after school. Because I would go to school and then I would be the class clown, and then when I would go home, I would cry. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I write. So depression is the reason why I'm a poet. So, yeah.
That's deep. That's deep. Yeah. I want to ask you, because you did it by yourself, you two both did your stories by yourself, and you took a perspective from a father and twisted to being the female story. And Kyle had shared that with me the other day here, and I was like, oh. And then like sitting here, like I was like, that is, because I know Bruce's story fairly well, and for you to take that and flip it, but it was still, his story was crazy and empowering. Like how did that work for you, like just transforming that?
I'll let you know when I figure that out. So I kind of like Teresa said, I didn't even really know until last night that Mr. Bruce would be here today. So that shook me a little bit because this, we're all used to stories and shows. We have our favorite shows, we have our favorite plays and musicals. This is not that. So it is acting, obviously, for us, but these are true real-life stories. So we're not reading a script. We're reading something that happened to real-life individuals.
It's a real story, yeah.
And for me, I am a mother. I have 3 children. I have 2 sons. So it was really difficult to do this piece to an extent because if I'm being honest, I don't want to picture that life. I don't want to picture my son. I can't even, but you do have to tap into that. You do have to tap into that. And it was, I don't know if refreshing is the right word, but I think humbling to think of this man and what he truly went through. Even, I changed it to niece. I have nieces in my life that mean just as much to me as my own children. But Bruce, if I may share, it was his grandson that he had to pick up from school. And so even just that little slight change, which is a big change for him, but slight change in the artistry of what we do, it just kind of levels out what they went through, and kind of makes it a little bit more personal for us to put that true emotion and feel into it.
Well, you definitely, I think I speak for everyone, like you definitely grasped and then everybody felt that, all the way through. Sliding over here to you two. You two did a story of 2 brothers that were in business together, and one, the business fell apart, and the one was having these suicidal thoughts and walked back a little bit from that. So how was that for you two, like trying to converse and, being the bit brothers, sisters, sharing those kind of stories?
So with me, when Cal first sent it to us, my first thought was like, oh, well, I'm not a dude. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to portray this story the way that it is meant to be. And so I was looking at the lines, I'm looking at everything, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, I don't want to say the concept of not talking about your mental health is foreign to me, because that's absolutely not true. But in female friendships, it's normal for us to like sit together and cry together and talk together. And I've never had to deal with the societal pressures that come with being a man and being mentally ill, because there's the whole idea, oh, well, I'm not man enough if I don't talk about it. I'm not man enough if I feel this way. Or God forbid they experience anything like more than mental health, like sexual assault or anything. There's, well, I'm a man, like I must have wanted it then. And a lot of what went into how I approached this was thinking of it as if one of my male friends had come to me and shared with me that they were thinking about killing themselves, and how I would approach that. Do you have anything?
I mean, I have a lot of guy friends. I grew up with them, and I know a couple times one of my best friends, he would come to me and talk about all of like the things he had, what was going through his life. And so I've experienced something similar to what happened here, but not to the like financial extent. But like helping someone out of a dark place, I have gone through that multiple times. And it's difficult and it's tiring, but it's rewarding to see the end results.
Well, we all appreciate you very much for what you all did today, and we want to say thank you.
She nailed my stuff.
Yeah, Bruce is coming up here. He's coming up here, Bruce.
That was the day. That was the day. You're awesome.
You're awesome. Thank you.
Oh, Bruce, man.
I told you.
I know.
Say, Bruce, you always bring it to the table. There you go.
I guess that would be a good closing, a good ending for tonight's show. We thank you all for coming out. I guess we stand up, right? Thank you all for coming out. We appreciate it. Until next time, thank you all. Thank you.